Hello, welcome. This is Vince of vinceprep.com and Agos, Admissions Consulting. The Harvard and Stanford essays are causing some confusion, and I want to try to address some of that confusion as you prepare your applications to these two schools. So, on one hand, the Stanford culture seems very casual, and yet they seem to have this very intense essay question. The question, what matters most to you and why? That's what it means here, WMM2U and why. That's my little abbreviation. What matters most to you and why is a very serious question. Requires a lot of thought and self-reflection. You're not just going to, off the top of your head, I think, immediately come up with the right answer. You might. The right answer meaning one that really captures who you are and what you're trying to achieve in your life. It takes some thought to come up with an answer that's thoughtful and also easy to understand for someone who doesn't know you. Harvard, on the other hand, seems to have this very intense academic culture and yet this casual question. Introduce yourself. So if you visited Stanford GSB, or even if you have friends who go there, or you can imagine the atmosphere. It's California. The weather's usually pretty good. People are usually in a pretty good mood. The people at Harvard and Stanford are equally ambitious and talented and successful, etc. But the people at Stanford somehow, for whatever reason, the atmosphere or the attitude come off as being a lot more, quote, laid back or approachable. Whereas Harvard, they're certainly friendly. They certainly are social, and they're just like Stanford, ambitious and successful and driven to succeed in their given field. But the atmosphere of Harvard academically is much more intense. 5 days a week. The curriculum in the first year is very fixed. There is not a lot of flexibility for your time, doing cases all the time, going to class every day with the same 90 people. It's very fixed. Stanford seems very open. Anyway, the mistake that you're making, though, the mistake my clients make when they make this observation and they come to me and they say, wait a minute, how could I introduce myself to this serious school when this less sort of serious seeming school has this very heavy question, shouldn't my Harvard essay be very serious and very long and very detailed? The mistake that they're making is that, and don't make this mistake yourself. Don't forget, first of all, to be yourself. That's really vague. I hate it when people tell me that, because you're assuming you know who I am, but it is true. You need to be yourself. The bigger mistake is that don't forget that the essay is one part, in some ways maybe a small part of the application process. The application to these two schools and all top MBA programs is holistic, meaning that the essay is one part of the application and certainly an important part, but it is part of a whole, and that for Harvard, the application includes a resume, which should be serious and show your achievements and record of success and a upward career growth, and all the little boxes, which are really important. Then ask very serious questions about your key accomplishments and most significant challenges and future goals and awards and activities and all this other stuff. And also the recommendation letters, which should also be very serious, showing your ambition and success and drive and record of achievement, and also areas of growth over time. And so, if you're doing your job right, you're remembering that it isn't just about the essay. If the application to Harvard up until the essay shows your habit of leadership, record of achievement, not forgetting your academics, your undergraduate academic performance, your test scores, etc. Never forget that by the time they get to the essay, which I do believe they read last, I would if I were them, they know quite a bit about you. And so, if you choose to answer the question as they sort of suggest, which is they basically say, imagine simply saying it out loud. This is what we mean when we've been encouraging to use your own voice when approaching this part of the application. This is Harvard's director's blog, we have no preconceived ideas of what good looks like. We look forward to lots of variance, meaning lots of variation. Be yourself. If you want to have a serious approach to the essay, go for it. If that's who you are and that's the message you insist on showing them, fine. Just make sure that it's in your voice and that it is something that you would actually say to your classmates. I don't imagine that when you get to Harvard in your section, and you are introducing yourself to these other 90 people, some of whom you may have met before that day, many of whom you probably haven't met until that very moment. In that room, some amount of those 90 people will have a very serious introduction. Others would have a very casual introduction to introduce themselves. If it were me, I'm from California. I have a background in stage, performance, improvisation. My answer would sound honestly something like this, which is something I made for one of my interview videos, right? Tell me about yourself. In an interview, my answer would sound something like this. So, great to be here. I'm Vince, originally from California, San Francisco Bay Area. I've lived and worked in many other places, including New Orleans, Louisiana, where I was an award-winning middle and high school history teacher. The Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, where I was a Shakespearean actor professionally. New York City, where I got my master's degree in design for education, instructional design at NYU. And most recently, for the past almost 15 years, Tokyo, Japan, where I'm running my own business and also directing the admissions consulting team at Japan's largest test prep company, which is called Agos. I'm an admissions consultant helping people get in here to Harvard Business School and also Stanford and other top schools. I'm well suited to that job, I feel, because I've taught writing for more than 25 years professionally, helping people tell their story with their hands on paper. And I've also been an actor and taught acting, so I help people present their ideas in person using their body and voice. So those two skills help my clients be successful in this admissions process. I'm also a leader of AGAC, which is the Association of Admissions Consultants, International Graduate Admissions Consultants. It's the industry association for over 100 people who do exactly what I do. It's a great group of friends and colleagues. We share ideas. We also talk directly to the admissions officers to share our perspectives, because we're close to the market, about what we're hearing and sensing from the applicant world. And the schools really want to know that. And then in turn, we get to understand their thinking and their thought process so we can give you, the applicants, good advice. Outside of work, personally, I have two great loves. One is I'm a father. My son is 10. My wife's Japanese, so I'm raising my son. My wife and I are raising him to be bilingual and bicultural. That's a huge challenge, and it's hugely rewarding to be a dad of a kid like that and help him gain confidence in two cultures, United States and Japan. When I have free time, I love music. Playing it, performing it, listening to it, going to see live shows. So you, my HBS section mates, let me know if you're ever up for hearing live music. I have a very wide range of tastes. I love live music of all kinds, from classical and opera to reggae and punk and rock and roll, whatever, dance and club stuff. It's all good. I love music deeply. And I have a kid, so let's make a play date and get our families and kids together. It'd be fun to get to know you socially as well as here in the classroom, debating ideas and exchanging opinions with you over the next year. Thanks for your time. My answer would be something like that. Should that be your answer? I don't know. But it would work for me, and it would work in an interview, and to me that's a logical way of introducing oneself. But I'm never trying to tell you what to say or how to say it. I'm simply giving you models and things to think about. So don't worry too much that Harvard's essay seems really casual. The application overall is absolutely not casual. It's quite serious, and there are lots of opportunities to show your seriousness and your leadership and your future goals. Just make sure it sounds like you, and just make sure it's something you're comfortable saying. So keep working hard on your applications. Thanks for your time and attention. As always, if you want to know if you want access to the latest updates fast, if you want to be the first to know when I've uploaded a new video here on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to get those latest updates. Otherwise, best of luck on your applications. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. New Orleans, Motown.
We on a world tour with Muhammad, my man. Going each and every place with the mic in their hand. Chinatown, Spokane, London, Tokyo.